Hi, I'm Chris Marshall, field editor for Woodworkers Journal magazine. Just doing a little bit of detail sanding work on this drawer. And I'm using a really helpful tool to get that job done. This is a multi-tool. Now, multi-tools operate on an oscillating principle, which means the head of the tool oscillates back and forth at between 5,000 and 20,000 oscillations per minute. That gives you real fine control and a real fine motion for detail sanding jobs like this drawer. Another advantage to multi-tools is that you can use that same oscillating principle to drive a variety of other blades and cutting attachments for these tools as well, which really expands their versatility. Well, you might be familiar with multi-tools already, particularly these orange ones. This one is made by Fine Tools. Fine has been making multi-tools for, well, since the mid-1980s. And really, for a long time, Fine was the only game in town when it came to multi-tools. But over the past few years, this category of multi-tools has really grown. Now there are at least 6 different multi-tools on the market, and I'd like to show those to you. For instance, this is Craftsman's multi-tool. This one is called the Craftsman Nex-Tech. It's a lithium ion multi-tool, 12-volt lithium ion, so a cordless tool. A couple of years ago, Dremel came out with a multi-tool. This is the Dremel Multi-Max. It's a corded multi-tool. Bosch also makes a multi-tool. This is Bosch's Multi-X model. It's also lithium ion, 12-volt lithium ion. And Fine Tools makes a number of different multi-tools. The one that I just showed you is called the Multi-Master, and they've made this one for years. But they've also got a newer model now. This one is called the Supercut, and it's really intended for more of the pro user. Finally, Rockwell, a name that you might remember from years gone by, also makes handheld power tools now too. This is Rockwell's Sonicrafter multi-tool, so they're also in this market. Well, you might be wondering to yourself, why so many multi-tools? And that's a great question. And I think I've already kind of alluded to the answer. There are so many different attachments that you can put on these tools to handle a variety of different DIY and remodeling tasks. There are also some other crossover applications for woodworking as well. Say, for instance, you're peeling up a vinyl floor and you need something to get underneath those tiles and peel up the mastic on your subfloor. Well, you can put a flexible scraper blade on a multi-tool and put some power behind that task so it gets the job done a lot more effectively. It's also a good tool for scraping paint or dried glue. Or maybe, for instance, you're laying a new hardwood floor or wanting to put some outlets in your walls. Well, with a multi-tool and an end cutting blade with teeth on the end, you can use this tool to get right down close to your flooring so you can undercut those door casings and take a ½ an inch or so off of those moldings at the bottom without damaging the surrounding woodwork or walls or your subfloor. And part of the advantage again is that fine oscillating motion of these tools doesn't introduce any rotational motion that you get with circular saws or routers, so there's no danger of kickback with a tool like this. It's a very fine motor control and a very safe tool to use as well. Also works well for drywall, I mentioned. You can use this for the same blade for plunge cutting applications to plunge right into your drywall to make nice square cutouts for electrical boxes. I've already mentioned that multi-tools work well for detail sanding applications. All these tools come with a triangular stiff sanding pad. It takes hook and loop sandpaper, comes in a variety of grits from 60 all the way up to 180. So the kind of grits we use both for DIY jobs and for woodworking. But you're not limited to sanding with multi-tools. You can also get much more aggressive attachments for these tools. For instance, this one has carbide particles that are impregnated on it. It's meant for masonry jobs. So say, for instance, you're popping up some ceramic tiles in the kitchen. This is the kind of blade that can help you take that thin set mortar up off the floor so that you can replace those tiles. The same oscillating motion that enables really fine detail sanding applications also can cross over into more aggressive applications too. Or maybe you're doing some bathroom remodeling and you want to pull the grout out of the tiles in your shower. Well, here's a way to do it without damaging the tiles. You can put a semicircular grout cutting blade and a multi-tool and go right around those tiles without cracking the tiles or damaging them, and then re-grout. So another really helpful attachment for a multi-tool. You can even buy attachments for doing polishing applications for automotive or marine use. Here's a polishing pad that comes with one of these, and use a little polishing compound and you're good to go there. So many different applications for these tools. Now, a lot of readers have been writing in lately wondering, when is Woodworker's Journal going to review multi-tools and give you an overview of what these things do? Well, I'm happy to report that in the April 2010 print issue of Woodworker's Journal, I'm going to be doing just that. I'll give you a much more in-depth overview of each of these tools. I'll share the specs on these tools with you so that you know the particulars about each one. I'll give you a better sense for what attachments go on these tools, and of course pricing information too, in case you're getting closer to making a buying decision. So in the meantime, look out for that. That's coming in your very next issue of Woodworker's Journal, and happy woodworking.